Hello everybody, 10 here, Jordan, whatever you want to call me. I am here reading Pokemon Lost Silver, Google Translate version. So we already know Pokemon Lost Silver, it's creepypasta, and they just Google translated it. I'm just a student living alone in an apartment. I am delighted with the release of Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver here in the States. I locked myself up to date with all the media and internet towards the goals for the school. This does not mean 4chan, none v slash etc. No Wikipedia. As I worked in the school year, I was poor at the time. I was not able to buy Soul Silver on launch date. After my school year is over, I ordered Soul Silver on Amazon. However, it will take a week to arrive. I decided that during this time, I would repeat my crystal on my Game Boy Color. However, I realized that long ago my mother threw it away because I told her the store was dead, and I was very excited about it then. They also threw away a silver version. All I have is my Game Boy Color. As the search, I made my GameStop and bought a used silver version so that looked only Pokemon game that they have 2 GBC $10 quite cheap. I went home and began to use a nostalgia trip. However, this is where it all began, strangely enough, and probably the reason why you're reading this. I went home and began. Game Freak logo running as usual, but it only stopped there. Also, sorry for the echo. I thought the car was just defective or something, so I turned it on and off. The same happened. I tried pressing and start all over again, and all the buttons. Finally, the logo had disappeared, and there was a black screen for about 5 seconds. Suddenly, instead of the usual menu screen, I was on the field in a previously saved file, which was strange. As I expected, all cars on this bad battery goes out. In any case, I did not complain, as I chose it anyway. Click next to see the previous guy. First of all, I looked at his trainer information. His name was only ... He did not have a lot of originality. I checked his profile, and apparently he had 999 hours put into the game. All 16 icons, 99,999 9 Pokédollars, all 251 Pokemon in the Pokédex. Since he apparently had Mew and Celebi, it went well. I suspect that he never used or Game Genie, really hardcore Pokemon player back then. I checked his Pokemon to see that his team was badass. To my surprise, I saw 5 Unknows and 6 Pokemon called Hurry Up. What makes it so bad? I think this matter who last played in the game, some cool joke, but I decided to examine the profiles of those Pokemon anyway. As expected, they were different, unknown letters, all level 5. I was a bit shaky with my unknown alphabet at the time, but I identified advertised exit word. As for the 6th Pokemon turned Cyndaquil, mind you, this was before he individualized Pokemon icons. Cyndaquil looked normal, but it's something that the level 5 with only 1 HP left only 2 attacks, Leer and Flash. I did not know why they gave him the name Quick, but at the time I ignored it easily. A horrible thing is really, despite my volume at the maximum, one of the Pokemon he told her usual cries. Only pure silence. Suffice team, I closed it. I was what seems parked place within Bellsprout Tower. Bellsprout Tower. But I, for some reason, not the NSC. Even more ominous, I indeed column. Do not move in the middle. As if just leaning on the side. There was no music at all, and there was no exit or stairs. Or at least I thought that it was not. I thought it was not. I walked around for a few minutes, but cannot seem to find a way out. This, of course, not the number I saw in the tower Bellsprout. I tried. My items are checked for a rescue rope, but the bag is completely empty. Call. There was not any wild Pokemon. Finally, I managed the stairs on what looked like his pillar. The screen went black, and finally the music began to play. I suddenly chilled, and I understand it. I melody heard on the topic you learned when you were listening to the radio. Alf ruins where unknown can stand. I knew right away it did not charge the transition, but in a rather dark room I was and will need to flash. But before I took care of that, though, I checked my Pokegear immediately to change the radio a little more comfortable. But it turns out that there was no wireless card or even a phone. Still time card. It was just a card in the gold card. ... from earlier, and we'll call it now on gold. I walked in the middle of the black. I remember that Cyndaquil has flash, so I turned off my Pokegear and made Cyndaquil use flash. I do not see the message, hurry, use lightning or something like that. The room was lit just so, and I regretted it soon. The room was terribly scarlet and gray, linear path to the south. The manager I up/down, that does not exist. I had no choice but to head south. The screen is dark every 20 steps, which I did until I finally got to the end. Did see my sign. I read the sign, did turn back. Suddenly, he used turn back, obviously. Suddenly, I was asked to answer yes, no, but there is not no question asked. I chose. I do not know what it is, what to ask, and the screen went black again. So did the ladder climb sound. What? Unknown radio music stopped and replaced in a matter of seconds. Not so creepy Pokeflute radio music. I was in another dark room, but I held my breath and reflash. Suddenly, it is stating that Hurry fainted. What was strange, because I remember that there was no state in a poison for him, and I was obviously not in combat. I have not checked my Pokemon quickly, and suddenly he was no longer in my party. In fact, after a brief investigation, none of my Pokemon are not, but they were all replaced at 10 unknown. I did the same thing as before. I made unknown. My then team spelled he died. Anyway, after that terrible change, the room was illuminated to reveal themselves in a very small space. To be only 4 more seats there. The walls were gray bricks, as if I was something that was hollowed out. Outside this room, a bunch of graves seemed like those that will Pokemon Red/Blue. If that made sense. I walked through the small room and pressed nothing happened. I have already said that this is clear. The game is stuffing, and the more sadistic sales there to frick GameStop. However, my curiosity kept me going. I tested the trainer's profile ... again, and only to find out did not have enough gold sprite hands. So he seems to look less complacent, but it seems pretty sad and empty in the way that I do not know how to describe it for some reason. So it is now said that he had 24 pins, which obviously is impossible. After a few minutes of aimless wandering, my character suddenly turned and made an escape rope spinning animation instead of flying up, but my character slowly as if drowning. After the screen, the music stopped. After planting finally, now colored differently overworld sprite gold. Instead of the usual red color, he prefers it is all white now, including the skin. It is as if he was placed directly from the colorless Game Boy games in the colored background Game Boy Color. I checked out your profile. Oh, thanks, man. And now, as of now, okay, as white as his overworld sprite, he lost his leg, and that seems to bloody tears from his eyes. So he says he now has 32 icons, which is now starting to bother me because it seems to represent a change of something important. I also now have a Pokemon containing, this time, 5 Unknowns, and the level of 100 Celebi without a nickname. Unknown that are this time leveled 15, spelling dying. I checked the profile Celebi. It was a brilliant Celebi, except there were only half of the sprite, leg, hand, eye. It has only one attack, Perish Song. The area I was in itself was a germ of a tower with a fixed column as before, only now all appear red. I went to the north. I feel like an eternity. He feels like an eternity. That's great. I'll continue this next part.